Honest J. Nowak. Oh yeah.
A pleasure to meet all at last, and welcome back to HJN. So for today's episode of Honest J. Nowak, of course, you can probably already tell, it is going to get rather dark, so of course, I won't have a whole lot to do anyways. At least it's what I have on cue for today, but anyways, there's a lot of new subjects I have coming out, and I'm just going to get started by talking about apocalyptic events. Now, I've already mentioned quite a few things about certain other apocalyptic events, mainly things like tsunamis, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, etc. But of course, that's still not all. I mean, there's a lot of other apocalyptic events that have been shown in a lot of pop culture throughout the last several decades. It's extremely amazing to know that there are so many possible ways that our world could end at any point in time. If you're not familiar with the December 21, 2012 anomaly, then well, let me just break it down for you. On that particular date, 10 a.m., December 21, 2012, it was a time where the Mayan calendar would specifically point out an imminent doom to all society. Civilization would completely crumble amongst the many things that take place. But it eventually turned out to be a hoax. All of it. It was just a conspiracy that had been found to be a completely fraudulent idea. Because nothing happened. And there have actually been some things that have taken place since then. Nearly 8 years later. We've had a lot of things turn out. I mean, I don't know what to say at this point, but in terms of apocalyptic events, like tornadoes, hurricanes, earthquakes, microbursts, eternal darkness, uprisings based on, well, zombies, robots, or whatever, and hundreds of other different things out there, civil wars, pandemics, nuclear destruction, and, I mean, the list goes on and on from there. So, I don't know if I'd probably be taking it on myself at this point, because, after all I've been through, 21 years of my life, there were so many things that I have taken it on when it comes to knowing what kind of things have happened out there. If there's quite a few things that I will remember, it's the fact that, well, in late 2010, it was a time where we pretty much raised awareness for earthquakes happening worldwide at that time by simply gluing pairs of shoes to the walls all over certain schools and the like. I don't know what kind of purpose that served, but maybe it had some cause for it, especially to those who would have become homeless after the events of certain earthquakes that have taken place. But other than that, if there's one true thing that I will remember that has been very apocalyptic yet somewhat exciting in my life, then well, it'd probably be the Midwestern tornado craze of 2008. Around the same time that the economic crash of 2008 pretty much took place, it was absolutely horrible at that time. But of course, it got even worse. The 2008 tornado craze, as I call it, was basically a huge series of certain tornado-related disasters that have taken place throughout the Midwestern states. Especially because the state of Wisconsin, for example, is directly in line in the center of Tornado Alley, which specifically houses states like Nebraska, Kansas, Texas, Missouri, Illinois, Minnesota, Dakota, and many others. Those are basically spots where tornadoes can be very common. And of course the tornadoes ranged from F0 to F3 around these areas here in Wisconsin, but nevertheless they were destructive. And there were a lot of them. There were dozens of them throughout that whole year. Even while I was going to school, there were many things happening that were tornado related. I will especially remember at one point, I stared up at the clouds at one point once I came out of, well, the elementary school that I went to. And what I saw was terrifying. Not really to myself, because I'm normally not afraid of a lot, but the clouds above were swirling, as if a tornado was ready to come down right in front of me. But I will say that there was a whole lot more out there that I remember so well, but that would have taken so much more time out here. You're lucky it's been only 5 minutes so far, but 5 minutes and counting seems like a good time to draw the line here, so that's why I'm just going to simply end it here for now. I might talk more about this stuff later, but if you want to see more, go down on my channel. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side.